Hi, my name is Catherine Randle, and I am a mental health therapist for a K-12 elementary school here in Alabama. And I am currently a PhD student at the Alabama A&M University, and I'm here to answer some questions regarding social work. So let's get into it. A social worker answering social work questions. Is social work a good career? Yes, social work is a very rewarding career. If you are someone who is passionate about advocating for justice or systematic change, social work is a great field for you to go into. Is social work a hard major? Yes, it can be. Social work requires a blend of academic coursework, emotional resilience, and fieldwork. You will study many areas within theory, human behavior, policy, and code of ethics, completing a demanding internship at both the undergrad and graduate level. What skills do you need to be a social worker? Empathy and active listening, critical thinking and problem solving, cultural competence, advocacy and communication skills, ethical decision making, as well as organizational and case management skills. If you do not possess all of these skills, that's okay. Many of these skills, such as cultural competency and ethical decision making, comes with continued education and experience. What are the core values of social work? Social workers place service above all interest. We help people in need and address social problems without expecting any reward or any recognition. That's service. We respect the inherent dignity of every individual, regardless of race, cultural background, religious beliefs, and or socioeconomic status. We respect it. We recognize that relationships are essential to healing and changing, and we understand the importance of community. What is cultural competence in social work? It means understanding, respecting, and responding to the cultural needs of your client. It includes self-awareness of one's own bias and working effectively across diverse cultural backgrounds. We all have our biases, but we must first check our biases at the door and consult with our supervisors if we believe that we're leading with our own bias. How long did it take to get a master's in social work? Traditionally, it can take up to 2 years to obtain an MSW. If you do the advanced standing because you received your bachelor's in social work, you can obtain your master's degree within 12 months to 14 months, depending on your program. Part-time programs can take you between 2.5 to 4 years to obtain. What qualifies as a good CSWE-Accredited Online Program for your master's degree? If we look at what is required for a licensure, you must graduate from a CSWE-Accredited program. Field placement support. I will highly recommend that you visit the school, check out the reviews, and do research on their field internship placement. You may learn a lot throughout your coursework. However, most of your knowledge will come from being in the field and actually having the hands-on experience. That's the importance of our field placement. For my master's, as well as my undergrad, my field placement yielded a job after graduation. So trust me, the field placement matters. Licensure passing rate is another quality to check into for a great program. Now, this might be a good question to ask your university administration, because if they're able to provide you with their pass fail rate for the licensure, it can show the level of knowledge obtained through coursework. However, be mindful that the state licensure is a standardized test, and it may not show all the qualities that one possesses. What is the difference between an MSW, LMSW, as well as an LCSW? An MSW is a master's social worker. An LMSW is a licensed master social worker, and an LCSW is a licensed clinical social worker. Now, whether you want to be an MSW, an LMSW, or an LCSW all depends on your personal goals. However, there's different levels for each one. With an MSW, depending on your state, you're only able to work within a certain parameter of your degree. An LMSW, you're able to work and do a little bit more if you're under a supervision of an LCSW. An LCSW, which is a licensed clinical social worker, can diagnose and treat mental health independently. That private practice. How to become a licensed clinical social worker, also known as an LCSW. First, you must obtain a Master Social Worker, MSW, from a CSWE accredited program. Depending on your state, In order to receive an LCSW, you must first obtain an LMSW. Once you obtain your LMSW, you must then obtain supervision between 2,000 to 4,000 hours from someone who is able to provide supervision, who is already ranked as a licensed clinical social worker. Now, this varies state by state, so always check with your state licensing board to get accurate information. What can you do with a master's in social work? Many people believe that you are limited to just working within child and family welfare services, but that is not the case. You can be a school social worker, clinical and mental health therapist, go into the medical field or healthcare field, community program directors, academic and training roles, policy analyst, criminal justice and the legal system, and international and humanitarian work. The list can go on and on and on. I recommend anyone who is interested in obtaining a degree in social work first decide what you ultimately want to do. What is your end goal? What is school social work? School social work involves supporting students' emotional, behavioral, and social needs within the school setting. School social workers collaborates with families, educators, and agencies to improve students' well-being and success. What do case managers do within social work? They assess clients' needs and assist with coordinating services such as housing, public assistance, and healthcare. We advocate for resources and monitor progress. A case manager, as well as a social worker's goal, is to empower and reach stability with all clients. How much does a master's in social work cost? Between $15,000 to $60,000, depending on your state and the program that you are enrolled in. Public universities are more affordable typically than private universities. However, financial aid and scholarships are always available. Does social work pay well? It really depends on your location and your state. Entry-level jobs may range from $40,000 to $50,000 per year, while licensed clinical social workers, administrators, or hospital-based workers can earn between $60,000 and $90,000. Private practice can yield more. Also keep in mind, this is dependent upon the state that you are located in. Now let's tackle some real questions for those who are interested in stepping into the world of social work. Tips for an entry-level social worker. Prioritize self-care and boundaries. I highly recommend not having your work emails forwarded to your personal phone. This allows you to leave work where work is. Set that personal boundaries from the beginning. If your email is coming to your phone, you're more likely to check it and respond to it. Find a mentor or supervisor that you trust. Having someone that you can talk to and can understand burnout and compassion fatigue is a real thing, is someone that you definitely need on your side. Another tip is learn your local resources. Keep a binder. Every resource that you come across, put in that binder. Have it. Trust me, you're going to always go back to it. Ask questions and stay curious. Never be afraid to ask a question. This falls back into the NASW Code of Ethics with competency. The only way to know is by asking questions and doing your research. Document everything professionally. You will learn within undergrad as well as grad, even going into your PhD program. Document, document, document. Because what? If you don't document, it did not happen. Be patient with yourself. This is probably one of the best tips to take because with expertise and learning, it takes time. So just be patient. How is the social work job market right now? The job market is strong and booming, especially within the areas of healthcare, school social work, and behavioral health. As we continue to advocate for mental health, as our knowledge increases and our stigma decreases, it continues to open up more job opportunities for the field of social work. The demand, however, is higher for licensed clinical social workers and bilingual practitioners, particularly in underserved communities. Why would someone get a MSW but not pursue license? Licensure is not required for every job and is also depending on your state. They may also enter teaching, research, or nonprofit that doesn't require a license. Personal and financial barriers also is another reason why someone may not pursue a licensure. What do you wish you knew before going into social work? The emotional toll is real and burnout is common. However, with the support of a good supervisor or mentor, that can help reduce your burnout and your compassion fatigue. You won't fix everyone, and that is okay. The system can be frustrating. However, small wins matter. If I can reach one client per year, I have reached my own personal goals. Another thing I wish I knew before going into social work is that my social work degree opens more doors than I could have ever imagined. Do not limit yourself. Go out, do your research, and reach for those goals. These are all the questions I have, but if you have more questions, drop them in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer them next time. And thank you for watching A Social Worker Answering Social Work Questions.